Hola amigos. Well, a lot has happened since the last video. I think I alluded that we would be listing the house, but we didn't yet have a plan. And the good news is now we do. So I wanted to pop on and give you another update. This is a little bit of an impromptu video. I didn't plan to film today, but I thought, well, what the heck? I have the house to myself. It's very clean. I put on some makeup and I thought, well, now is as good a time as any to just do a little quick video to give you the latest since so much has happened. Hopefully the audio in this is okay. I'm sitting in our kitchen, as you can tell, and the next door neighbors are out playing basketball in their driveway, which is like 20 feet from where I'm sitting. So hopefully their bouncing ball isn't too annoying. Okay, so where to start? Oh man, I don't even remember everything I said in my last video because that feels like it was a month ago and I think it was actually only 2 weeks ago. Unbelievable. So our house is officially going on the market on Friday. So today it is March 29th, Monday, March 29th. And on April 2nd, let me just check. Yeah, so Friday, April 2nd, our house will officially be live on MLS, which is the real estate listing service here in Canada. And today we had a cleaning crew, a husband and wife team. They were absolutely lovely. Our realtor recommended them, so I arranged that for them to come today and do like a really good deep clean of the house. So they looked after things like cleaning the oven, which is nasty. I am ashamed to say I don't actually remember the last time I cleaned that oven, so that was pretty brutal and I was so happy to pay somebody to do that for us. Frankly, I wasn't even totally sure on how to do it because it was so grimy. So that's like so clean you could eat off of it, which is amazing. They completely emptied out the fridge and the freezer and wiped it all down, so it is immaculately clean. They wiped down walls, they cleaned the bathrooms, like a fine detail toothbrush kind of clean, the thing that, you know, we don't often do ourselves. They cleaned the tops of the cabinets. Like, who even does that? Like, it's a place where grime and grease and dust gathers, but you don't see that part of the cabinet. It's above, it takes me to get on a chair to even get up there. So it was awesome that they could do that for us. And basically they just did like a general clean of all the other areas of the house. And oh my God, it's amazing. Like, I personally don't typically clean with a lot of bleach, but when I asked them what supplies they needed, because they requested that we provide the cleaning supplies, so I got a list and that included like a bleach cleaning spray, which I typically don't use. So it has that like bleachy smell in our house right now, but like, even though I don't like that smell, it's just like the greatest thing because it is signaling my brain that everything is just like so super clean right now. Anyway, that was the cleaning, so that part's done, check. The next thing on our list, or in the process, is tomorrow our realtor's coming over and we are having our real estate photos done. So we arranged the cleaning to be lined up with the timing to do the photos tomorrow so that everything would be like spit shined clean, ready for that. And once the photos are done, the listing will be prepared and ready to go up on Friday. So a lot is happening this week, but like the funny thing is that we've been really working our asses off to get the house ready for today and tomorrow to have the cleaning and then the pictures done. So it kind of feels like now that everything's ready, I don't even want to use the house. Like, I almost kind of just want to leave and like not touch anything because I feel like everything's so clean and I don't want to mess it up. Because the listing goes live on Friday, with the market the way it is right now, we're going to set it up that showings will be available to be scheduled for the whole weekend. So I don't know what hours she'll set, but it'll be from Saturday morning through till Monday at like 5 p.m. or so. So it's Easter weekend, so like Monday's a holiday here in Nova Scotia. And then on Monday at 5 p.m. we will close to bidding. So anybody that wanted to make an offer would put their offer in by Monday night, and then we'll meet with our realtor, go through the offers, and decide who gets to buy our house. It's such a weird thing to even say that, because honestly, like, I never in my wildest dreams would imagine that we would get to choose who's buying our house. Like, it's not like, oh, who wants it? Come and get a house. Like, make us your best offer. Now it's like, people are going to be lining up down the street to come and see our house because there is like hardly any inventory on the market right now. And it's an insane time to buy and or sell a house. There's a house just a handful of streets over from us. It's still within our like zone for the real estate market. It listed for $310,000 and it just sold in 8 days for $425,000. Like, what in the heck? That's like over $100,000 more than the asking price. Like, the listing prices these days is almost irrelevant. Like, things are going for so much over asking that how do you even choose what to ask for it? So our realtor was like, what do you want? Have you thought about a listing price? And we were like, we have no sweet friggin' clue. She gave us a sheet that listed the comps, and it showed, I want to say there was like 8 or 10 houses on that list that had sold since December. She basically said like no listings before December were relevant because the market's changed so much even since then. And we looked at the pricing, and it was like January was pretty crazy, February was like really insane, early March even more insane. So who knows? She was like, throw a dart at a dartboard maybe? Like, how do we even pick a price? Because that's not the price that we'll get for the house. So I don't know, I'm so torn because the real estate market in Nova Scotia, for the most part, has been fairly even keel for many years. And I don't know the dates, I'm gonna badly butcher the quote, but our realtor Tina, she's awesome, Tina Parker with Keller Williams Realty here in Halifax, Bedford, Dartmouth. She's amazing. If I'm lucky, maybe I'll do a little video with her before this is all over so that we can talk about the process of selling the house and how everything went. Oh, and look at that, she just messaged me, so I'll have to get back to her because we have to make plans for tomorrow. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so yes, so prior to the real estate market absolutely blowing up, the list to sale ratio was somewhere in the 90s, I want to say. Can't remember the exact data, but what she told us was that houses were selling for somewhere in the 90%-ish region of what the asking price was. So people were paying less than what the asking price is, which that was the typical thing here in Nova Scotia, like normal pricing. And now the average as of, I believe that was as of late February, so not even like the latest time, was 118%. So on average, things were selling for 18% more than the asking price. And I would hazard a guess that if we were to figure out that number for today, it would be even higher. And I'm sorry, Tina, you're gonna watch this video, hopefully, and you're gonna wonder, you're gonna think, oh crap, she's butchering these numbers, and I'm really sorry. But I just wanted to give like a very rough overview of what it's like right now, even though I'm probably like kind of butchering the description. But you get the idea. It's insane. We're really lucky. We've waited, well, let's say a year, 13 months for this day, or this week I should say, and never would we have imagined that it would be like this. And there's been so much talk online about how brutal the pricing is. Like, I know that price is dictated by demand. That's like basic economics. And clearly there are many factors involved in making the pricing what it is. But there's like a small part of me that kind of feels guilty, and Trevor thinks I'm crazy because he's like, money, money, money. He's like, give us all the money, like whatever we can get out of it, awesome. That's even better for us. Don't feel guilty about that. And I agree, like obviously we've lived here for 13 years, we've built equity, we played the game, and we're gonna win. Like, we're very fortunate. So of course I shouldn't feel guilty about that. But at the end of the day, this market is so insane that a house like ours that might have been worth $250,000, which ain't bad, is now going to be worth like $350,000, $400,000, who knows? Who knows? So what else do I have to tell you? We've spent the last 2 weeks or so since the last video, actually. Like, it was immediately after I posted that video that Trevor and I talked, and we were like, okay, we sent in our visa application. We need to get to Spain fairly soon after that's approved, just to keep things flowing and to not worry about running out of time, because we have to be there within a certain time frame. And we have another person that we're going with who works with Trevor that's moving to Spain as well. So he's pretty eager to get there, and he doesn't have to sell a house. He doesn't have as many ties. So hi, Steven, I know you're watching. He is a little bit more in a situation where he can just pack his bags and go. And I know he's waiting for us to go with him. Of course, we're still waiting on the visa. So like, there's that. But once the visa's approved, I know he's gonna wanna go. And we have to take care of what we need to do for ourselves, and if it came down to it, he could go by himself. But I know that like he really wants to go as a group, and I fully agree. Like, I think it would be so fun and make it easier for everybody if we all went at the same time. So that means that we have to get the house sold and try to shorten up that process as much as possible. We decided to make an appointment with our realtor Tina right away after that video was posted, and talk about like, okay, what's the process gonna look like? What do we need to do? Tina walked in here, and I'm so proud actually to say that she was like, guys, I think you're ready. Like, the house looks great. You know, there's very little left to do. Like, you're more ready than you think you are. In my mind, we had like a huge long list of a million tasks and little things we had to get done around the house. But she was like, in this market, so much of that doesn't even matter. Like, things that you would agonize over before don't matter, because you have a buyer pool now that's gonna overlook a lot of things. And some offers are even going without conditions. So like, they're not even getting home inspections. They're not scrutinizing like details about the property, because it's just what's out there. So all that being said, we were like, okay, we don't have as much to do as we thought. Let's make a list, let's tackle it and get this thing on the market right away. So Tina actually reached out to a lawyer who she works with to ask a couple of questions. And one of those questions was, do we have to be here on closing day? Because we were kind of thinking, well, we could just do like a 60, 90 day closing, and we'll just pack up and put our stuff in storage and head to Spain. And then when it's ready to close, the house will be empty. It'll be easy. We can just do the closing from afar with our lawyer and our realtor. Sounded simple. Well, apparently it's not quite so simple. So what the lawyer, who we actually decided we will use for the closing, what he advised was that if you're not living in the country, then you are considered a tax resident of another country, which means you're not a Canadian tax resident. I'm probably also butchering this explanation, so stay with me. Hopefully I'm like somewhat close to what he told us. Basically, it means that they have to hold 25% of the net sale price, and then they have to have an accountant engaged who has to apply to the government for some sort of clearance certificate, and they have to check if there's capital gains, which hopefully in our case there wouldn't be, because it's our primary residence and we've lived here for a very long time. Usually capital gains would only apply if it's like an investment property or if it's a secondary home or something like that. But where it was our main home, that hopefully wouldn't apply. But either way, we'd have to engage an accountant, go through a bunch of extra steps, and then have 25% held, which for some people might be a problem, because it has to be the amount before you pay off your mortgage and before you pay your realtor. So all your costs have to come off, and that 25%. So in some cases, if you don't have a lot of equity, you might not even have 25% left over to save. So in our case, luckily, and in this market, that won't be an issue whatsoever. But it's just like this whole long process, and I don't even know how long it takes because we didn't get that far in the discussion. But basically, it's not as simple as we thought it would be to actually close from afar. And so that means that we may actually end up trying to opt for a shorter closing time so that we can actually just be here on closing day. And even if we left for Spain the next day, it would save us all of that effort because we would technically still be in Canada and still be considered tax residents until we arrive in Spain, and then we are Spanish citizens arriving on our visa. So hopefully that made sense. Anyway, the long and short of it is, it's a process. So it's not ideal. We're better off to be here. So that meant that we don't have as much time as we thought we did, because we could in theory have our visa approval like any day now, and we don't want to be held up for a really long time waiting for the house to close. So the sooner the better. Now, of course, that's going to depend on what offers we get, but I think in this market we have more ability than we would have before to dictate the terms of the sale. So that works in our favor. Anyway, that's the deal. So we're just gonna do our showings all weekend. We're gonna pack up on Friday morning, which is Good Friday. It's a holiday here in Nova Scotia, so it's actually a 4-day long weekend, which is awesome. It's the only one all year that we typically get. Of course, I don't work now, so it doesn't matter to me so much, but for Trevor, he's off Friday and Monday, so that makes it a little bit easier for us. We're gonna just get the place spotless on Thursday night, and Friday morning we will pack our bags and leave for the entire weekend, hopefully. And it's Easter weekend, so we're gonna go spend some time with my family and with Trevor's family. And by the time we get back Monday night, it'll practically be sold, which is insane. And the one thing that it's just weird. They always say when you go to sell your house, it's not your house. You have to like disassociate from being your house, because it's no longer your house. It's somebody else's house. And that's just like such a hard thing, because this is our home and this is where we've lived for such a long time, and we've worked so hard the past year to make it look really perfect and beautiful, and we love it. So it's gonna be strange to be sitting around all weekend thinking that at the time there were however many people traipsing through our house looking at it to buy, and like looking at it with a critical eye and deciding like, is this going to be our home? Are we willing to put an offer in? And that's gonna be like a hard thing to get used to. But at the end of the day, if we can make bank and move on to the next phase of our lives, then ultimately that's the goal and that's what we need to do. So what else can I tell you? I'm gonna do a little bit of video soon of what the house looks like. It'll be kind of for posterity, but also just to show you. And I'm gonna see how many photos I can find from when we first bought the house, so we can do like a little before and after kind of thing, which is super fun. And it's come such a long way in 13 years. Like, it's still the same house. Like, obviously the bones are all the same and we haven't really changed much as far as layout or anything, but it just looks very different, and it's a whole different home. And now that it's super clean and organized and we've downsized so much, we've gotten rid of so much junk. On Sunday, we went to a local charity shop and took like a carload of stuff over there. And at the same time, we went to the hazardous waste depot, which is like a clinic style thing where you drive up to this building. It's like a recycling depot, and you bring any old like corrosive materials, old propane tanks, paint, like anything that's hazardous and can't go in like garbage or recycling, they will. Ugh, I hate when my camera stops recording and I see the light go, or I don't see the light go off right away, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, the light went off. How long has it been off? So I ended up having to go back and watch the footage to see how far it cut me off. Anyway, I was rambling on about the hazardous waste. We dropped a bunch of stuff there. It felt so good. It felt like a 200-pound weight loss diet. And that was nice because it was a bunch of stuff that was hanging around that needed to go. And now that's done. So we still have a lot of things busting out of closets and drawers that will need to get organized. But for now, everything's tucked away in an orderly manner so that if people look in the closets, they won't have things like falling out at them and it doesn't look too horrible. And we've gotten like all the rooms tidied to the bare minimums, and hopefully Tina can help us like edit down anything that needs to go to make them rooms a little bit nicer for the photos. And then we will try to just keep it that way until Friday. So weirdly, We've checked off like everything on my massive to-do list in the past 2 weeks. Trevor was great to really help out a lot with things around the house, even though he's working full time. But together we tackled it and we got through the list super fast. So I was really happy. I had this big goal. I was like feeling like we were just like heads to the grindstone, like trying so hard to get everything done. And I knew I just needed like a day to not do house things. So the goal was all week, let's work really hard, check off as much from the list as we can, and on Sunday we'll take the day off. And like I just wanted to get out of the house, like go somewhere, because now that I'm not working, I feel like I'm just always home. We just have to coordinate our schedules to share the car, so it means that, not that I'm like trapped at home or anything, because there's been lots to do and I like being home, so don't get me wrong, but I just needed to get out for the day. So we managed to get everything done. Saturday was a late night, but it felt so good going to bed knowing that it was done, and knowing that Sunday would be a nice day off, and then Monday we get the cleaners in, and then so it begins. So that's the latest. Keep your fingers crossed for us. I truly am in like this state of feeling like this is all not real just yet, you know? Like, it's been so long that we've been waiting for this day or this week, and now it's happening, and I can't believe that it's happening, you know? Like, I'm trying to stay present in the moment and not get too worked up about what's happening next, because obviously once we accept an offer and like do the bidding war thing, however that goes, then the buyers will, if they choose to have a home inspection, will have that done hopefully within a couple of days after we come to an agreement, and then whatever else needs to happen, and then it's officially sold. And then we just have to like hurry our asses up to pack everything that we're keeping, make a pile of what we're taking, try to figure out how to fit that into 6 suitcases plus carry-on, and sell, move, store, disperse, you know, all the things. We've already given away a lot of things to my family, like my sisters, my parents have been over like digging through our stuff with an invitation, of course, and have taken a lot of things already. And of course, Trevor's family also will have the opportunity. His parents came and took a few things back to their place. They're keeping, we had a freezer that actually belonged to them, so they took that back. And they took our bikes, which will be great because we can use them when we're visiting, and also maybe they can make use of the bikes too while we're gone. And they have lots of space on the farm to store them, so that was wonderful. And but ultimately, like everything in this house, any furniture, we're not keeping. Like there's a handful of pieces that are either antique, childhood pieces of furniture, or things that like aren't replaceable or have significant meaning to us. But the things like our dining table, which I'm sitting at right now, it was a cheapy table that I got for like $100 used. It fits the room, but it has no sentimental value to me. So we had discussed with our realtor about maybe including some of that into the sale. Of course, it'll be up to the buyer. It's totally their option. If they don't want any of our stuff, then we'll just have to deal with it. But what we're actually going to do is make an inventory and offer up the pieces that we know don't have a name attached to them, as in like a family member hasn't already claimed them, because some pieces have already been like called, so to speak. And then the buyer can just go through the list and figure out what things they'd like to keep. Ethically, we can't just like leave a bunch of crap behind without them knowing, because that's not right, and we don't want to leave stuff that they then have to deal with getting hauled away or paying to have it removed or to try and sell. Like it's not fair to them, so it has to be their choice. But if it is truly a first-time home buyer situation, then maybe they would prefer to keep at least some of the things that we have that fit the house until they can acquire their own, or whatever the case is. So hopefully that works out. It certainly would take the load off. We're not looking to get extra money for the furniture because, like, let's be real, they're already paying so much for the house and it's over asking to begin with. So I figure they've paid for it. That's fine. We don't need money for it. Time is money, and if we have to pay to get it hauled away, or if we have to spend a lot of time dealing with people on buy and sell to get rid of things, like I just don't have it in me to do that if we can avoid it. So take all the things that you want, like anything that we don't need, they can have. So that'll hopefully keep the process a little bit more streamlined. Hi friends, editing Melissa here. So I just was editing this video that I recorded yesterday and I realized I never actually did an outro because I planned on doing like a house tour as part of that video, but it's already very long, so I figured I'll make that a separate video. And I just refilmed the tour part today because I got cut off yesterday when Trevor got home and I didn't finish it, and it looks even better today anyway because I got everything ready and staged for the photography that happened today. So we'll make that a separate video and end the conversation here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm so excited to show you how our house looks. It's like night and day different from how it used to look, and I really love it, and I'm gonna be sad when this house is not ours anymore because it finally looks how we've wanted it to look for a really long time. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below, and if you have any ideas or things that you would like to see me make a video of in the future, also definitely leave that below. Please subscribe and hit the bell to get notified when I upload new videos, and I will see you in the next one. Adios, amigos.